This is part 4, methods of self-healing and self-transformation. In part 3, you talked about self-healing and self-transformation. And it's obvious why we want self-healing. But what's important about self-transformation?
The point is self. In each of these, it's not about healing or transformation, it's about self-healing and self-transformation. In the process of self-healing, the whole transsomatic understanding is that we have an original wholeness where we are born connected to and part of the consciousness and being of the universal Akashic existential field. When we become separated from it and we have no consciousness of it, just like a child has health but knows nothing about health until he becomes sick, then he becomes aware of what he's lost. In the same way, when you become separated from your original wholeness, slowly your body begins to malfunction. And the effort of that, the way the transsomatic principle works, is that every disease is a way to bring you back to your original wholeness, where you are connected to and part of the universal Akashic existential field, where you're part of the wholeness, the harmonic wholeness of universal experience. Now, self-healing means that you connect to that part of yourself where you find where you lost contact with yourself. That's the memory. That core memory takes you back through emotion, back to the time when that happened. You lost it. You didn't know what you were losing, but now as you go back with your awareness of today, you recognize that point. My God, that's when I lost myself. And how many people have I met who, when they come to me, they say, I'm looking for myself. I want to find my real self. It's a fundamental aspect of pretty well everybody where we feel that we are not who we're meant to be. Somehow we're separated. Now, transformation is the reconnection to your original wholeness. Now, the healing part, we know we want healing because who needs cancer? Who needs multiple sclerosis? But if you look at a disease as something that is somehow coming from a life which is your enemy, it's something you don't want. But transsomatic dialogue allows you to see every disease is a finger pointing the way back home to your original wholeness. And in that way, every disease contains the answer to your own transformation. Your disease is your friend. It's important to recognize that your disease doesn't come out of something which is against you. Your disease is part of life, trying to bring you back to that original wholeness. And that's the essence of transsomatic dialogue, is that not that disease is wrong. Disease is a method of showing you, giving you a message that you have become separated from your real self. And by following the signs and symptoms back with awareness, you reconnect to yourself. Now, in that reconnection, something wonderful happens because you realize that you have a real self. And that real self is connected to the earth and the sky and the sun and the planets and the trees and the animals. You become aware that you are part of nature. And in that awareness, suddenly your whole life takes on a meaning that you never knew that you had lost. You have a context. You become connected to life. Not just yourself, you become connected to the wholeness of life. You are here not just to be a mother or a father, that's part of it, but the wholeness of your life is to reconnect to the universal experience that is only possible in a human body. We are the peak of an evolutionary wave. And this work, self-healing and self-transformation, they come together. They are the aspects where you connect to that unknown part of yourself, which is all the time knocking on your door through dreams, through emotions, through memories, through moods, to try and bring you back home. But you can only get back home with awareness. It's only awareness which is the golden key that opens to the inner meaning of your dreams. to the inner meaning of those past lives that come to you and you don't know where they've come from. The hugeness of existence is all the time knocking on our doors, and the transsomatic method is, the starlight method, is a way to unlock those messages which are coming through the body, through the emotions, through the dreams, and indicating a reality far beyond those limitations that the mind has given you because it's been programmed from our early life condition. That's the essence of self-healing and self-transformation, where you connect to yourself, and your reconnection to yourself allows the healing, the balancing, the integrating and harmonizing. The harmonizing is melting in to the universal experience. As you begin to heal the wounds from the past, your inner energy field begins to vibrate in a new way. It begins to vibrate with the same frequency, the same vibrational movement as life itself. And in the same way as a sound which resonates with the same as the field sound, it melts into it, it becomes part of it. In the same way as a drop melts back into the ocean. That's exactly how self-healing and self-transformation happen in this transsomatic method. It brings you out of the unconscious memories which have distorted your vibrationary field. It brings you back into a harmonic wholeness with the harmony of existence. And the harmony of existence is our basic harmony. The song of the earth is singing in my cells, in your cells. But we never know anything about that until we heal the wounds from the past. That's how self-healing becomes a self-transformation. It reconnects me to the earth, this beautiful earth, this beautiful planet, this wonderful life. But without awareness, I don't know any of that. That's the essence of transsomatic dialogue. That's the essence of all this work that Osho gave to me, and I call Oshodobics.
What's the transformative element in a memory?
The transformated element in a memory is when you go back into the memory, and when you release the detail, the factuality of the memory, you actually realize that if you can remember that, you must have been there at the time. There's a rememberer. Now, as you recognize that that memory is not the important thing, the really important thing is the one who's remembering. If I see myself in my childhood, I see that memory. If I just keep seeing it in the same old way, nothing changes. But if I go back with the consciousness of today and see how that memory, although I cannot change the past, I can change the way I have been affected by the past. The fears of my childhood are not the same fears that I have now. The same situation that happened in my childhood, if it happened now, would have a completely different effect. But in the transsomatic work, we bring out the unconscious memory, which is locked in the time warp of the past, of the conditioned mind. We bring it into the consciousness of now, the power of now, to release that disempowered child into the empowerment of now. And in that way, that memory becomes the door to your new life, to your healing, because that's where you lost your original wholeness. And by going back there with your awareness, you reconnect. That door opens for you, and you become integrated, and then the harmony happens. It's such a wonderful, spontaneous, natural healing process.
In your special programs, you always include Osho meditations.
Always.
Can you explain
Yes.
that?
The whole basis of this work is to bring consciousness to the place where authentic transformation can happen. What I understand by authentic transformation is where your consciousness becomes aware that it is bigger than your family, bigger than your local life context. It becomes connected to the harmonics of existence itself. Now, Osho's meditations because they came from this consciousness which is enlightened, each one of those meditations with awareness allows you to connect to those places where you can re-enter the oceanic experience of life and existence. Now, it's only by healing the wounds from the past that these meditations become effective. It's only by healing those wounds which have prevented your meditation from going deep. When you heal those wounds, the same meditation methods take you into whole new realms of experience. It's an amazing thing to discover how dynamic meditation is like a healing gift from existence. To discover that Nada Brahma, to discover that Kundalini heals your soul. It's what you were longing for when you first discovered meditation. But now, by healing those wounds, by bringing your awareness to a new peak of clarity, you unlock the door of Osho's meditations. The whole Akashic transmission is there in Osho's meditations. That's why